You're listening to InfoQuench with Jeff.
And Amy, a podcast on how to be more efficient.
And effective
In
everyday life. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode number 11 with Jeff.
And Amy.
And we are here to bring you random tips.
Yes, random everyday tips. So
Just the tip.
Just
right?
the tips.
Tips, or rather, yeah, that's right.
Just the
tips.
So
That's your first joke of the podcast.
What a great joke that was. So, moving on.
Let's move on.
These are tips that really don't warrant their own episode, but I wanted to sort of get them in there because they're things that we do that I find are just helpful in everyday life. I just wanted to share them.
These are things that we've been doing for a significant amount of time, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And have I assimilated into these things?
You have.
And I do them without even thinking?
A lot of them, yes.
Then everybody should know them. Everybody should know them.
I think there are things that we picked up on that work for us, and some of the things you can always search tips in Google Tips. We prefer you just listen to us and our
just listen to us. Ignore Google. You can find our podcast on Google though, but and Spotify, and Local 107.3 FM, and iTunes. Ooh, nice.
And so, yeah, they're tips that we come up with our own stuff. I guess stuff that just works for us. So the most recent one, it's actually a fairly new one that we.
Why not share them?
That's right.
And interrupt your wife.
Why not share one just right at this very moment?
That's right.
So the very first one is Ziploc bags.
Yes, Ziploc bags are essential in this household.
Right. So, I guess.
They are. We use them so often for so many different things.
We do, but we don't want to use too much plastic.
No.
They do serve their purpose for certain things.
We reuse them, though.
So this particular tip relates to cell phones. And
oh, yes, when we were away in Jamaica.
Well, I think it's recently we implemented when we were away. And what it is just if you're going out somewhere where your cell phone might get wet or muddy or sandy.
Yes.
Pop it into a Ziploc bag before you pop it into your beach bag or backpack. And it's just a little extra layer of protection.
If my cell phone had a home in a Ziploc bag when I went into the hot tub when we were in PEI, I'd still have my phone.
So Jeff went, I looked over, we were in PEI last year, and I looked over and he was in the hot tub, and he held his phone up in the air, and I said, I'm like, did that just fall into the hot tub? And he's like, no, it was in my pocket while I swam laps in the pool.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to sit in the hot tub for about 15 or 20 minutes.
I completely forgot that it was in my pocket. And I tried to save it with rice, which is what I saw.
We bought all the rice in PEI, but there was no saving that phone.
It didn't work. I remember you going on a mission to get the rice, and it didn't work. Anyways, Ziploc bag would have saved that.
In that particular circumstance, I'm not sure a Ziploc bag would have actually saved it, but
it would if it was all zipped up. It would. No water would get in there.
I have a little bit more faith in the
sealing
power of Ziploc bags than I do.
If it's sealed properly, no water's getting in there.
Okay, but I guess long story short is just even having it, if you're going to the beach or something like that, just having it on your phone. Yeah. You can actually still use your touch screen through the Ziploc bag.
We discovered that in Jamaica.
So, if you're just using your phone to check the time, obviously if you're going to take a picture, you're probably going to want to take it out of the bag. Otherwise, you're probably not going to get a good quality photo. But if you're just keeping your phone with you, Ziploc bag it. That's my recommendation. My next tip is has to do more with at the house in the kitchen. Dishwasher soap. This is a trick that my mother taught me.
Yes.
And it works
Mother
like a
knows
charm.
best.
Yes, they do. They have a lot of great tips. So we use the Cascade pods.
We are not getting sponsored by Cascade, by the way.
No.
But if you want to sponsor us, get a hold of us. InfoQuench.com.
We use the Cascade pods for our actual dishwasher, but we buy powdered dishwasher soap. So the old school stuff in the box that you can just shake out in powder
really
form.
Really cheap.
Yeah, cheaper the better. And the reason we do is we keep that under our sink. And if you have a pot or a roaster that has just baked on, like never going to come off, even with like steel wool kind of level baked on grime, the dishwasher soap will work. And all you need to do is just fill up the pot or the pan with hot water and shake a little bit of the powdered dishwasher soap in and leave it for a few hours, and it'll completely dissolve whatever
It'll
materials.
unstick whatever's stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you have something that's maybe a Tefal pan or something that might have some kind of special coating, you might want to, avoid that. I don't know what it might do to that coating, but for basic metal pans, it really works well. So you can do that, and then you
We've
can
used
just
that
wipe
quite
it out.
often.
Yeah. And it really works basically anywhere once you fill it with water, the soap dissolves. So anywhere where that water is touching is basically it dissolves the grime at that level, and super easy to clean out. So it's a good reason to keep. And also, if you run out of pods, you have the emergency stash of old school dishwasher powder that you could actually use to run a load in your actual dishwasher.
That's right.
So
It works really well, and we can prove that because we've done it quite a few times. I don't know how we would prove that on the social media, but trust us, it works.
yeah, we'll just.
You can't prove everything on social media.
No, we can prove very little.
We can.
Try it, and when it works, you will believe every other tip we give.
That's right, and we have a lot of tips, people.
Next up is I'm just going to do a whole little segment here on bananas.
Oh, bananas.
We're going bananas.
Are we going to do peanut butter too?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Peanut butter too.
Yes, peanut butter.
So years ago, I bought a banana tree, which I thought was the greatest little invention. It's just this wooden stand that sits on your countertop.
With
that
like
you
a brass hook.
That brass hook that you hang your bananas from. I don't know if it's just decorative or what, but I figured it's just a great way to store your bananas. But I recently did some research to find out what the best way is to store bananas. And particularly in the summer months where we're at in our climate, we get fruit flies. So there's like a bit of a fruit fly season.
There's a season for them.
There is. For every time, there is a season. Is that how the...
It is now.
Yes.
Those are the lyrics to the song.
Okay.
I know you and lyrics, so that's what it is.
All right, we'll go with that. So I actually Googled it, and Chiquita, who are they, if you want to know anything about bananas, you ask Chiquita.
Yeah,
That's where
no question.
That's where you start. They actually suggest storing your bananas in the fridge.
That was really interesting to me. That surprised me. Why is that?
That's mind blowing to me.
Yeah. And you tried it, right? We tried
I did.
it.
So I went through an experiment to test the process to see if this was actually a better way to store bananas. And what I did is I put a banana on the counter and from the same batch, and I put another one in the fridge. And by the next day, the one in the fridge, the skin was completely brown. But I kept going, and I just basically waited until the one on the counter was also brown. And it was around day 9 that happened.
Right.
So on day 9, I basically took both bananas out, and then I cut them open to check what the inside looked like, because the skin's one thing, but what's the actual inside of the banana like?
Right.
And we actually had some of our friends taste them to check them too.
Yes, we had taste testing.
And
banana
miraculously,
taste test.
even though the one in the fridge looked less appealing because of the brown skin, it was actually fresher. So the banana itself stayed firmer.
The banana?
Firmer? Did I say banana?
You did. I think you did. Or maybe that's just what I heard. But anyway, banana, go ahead.
Potato, banana. The banana itself, the flesh inside, it remained more firm and actually tasted fresher.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, Chiquitas, what they say is even though, your banana, basically they say is get your banana at a ripe state. And then when you put it in the fridge, the cold will actually slow the ripening process. So it kind of it holds it at that state for a longer period of time.
I wonder if that has any correlation with how you put bananas that have been past due in the freezer to make banana bread, because banana bread is best made with bananas that are far past their, they're pretty brown.
That's right. Well, and the best way to store them in the freezer is actually to peel them first. I'll see a lot of people who throw their bananas just in the freezer with the peelings on, but they become very difficult sometimes to to peel.
Sometimes,
and use.
every time.
So the best way to do it, and this is the way I do it regularly because I use bananas in smoothies all the time, peel them and then cut them up in halves or thirds, throw them in a Tupperware container so they don't smush up, and then put them into the freezer. And they're far easier. They don't actually go brown. If you peel them and you freeze them that way, the inside, they won't go brown, and you can basically just pop them out and put them right into your smoothie.
It's nothing for them to be crunched up in the smoothie machine.
Yeah.
Or what are they called? What is the smoothie machine called?
A blender?
A blender, that's right. I was thinking food processor, but we don't have one of those.
Some people have like Vitamixes and there's all kinds of Ninjas.
Do you remember when we had a food processor and we couldn't figure out how to put it back together, so we got rid of it?
Yes, I do.
Anyway.
I do remember
That's
that.
another story, people.
That's true. So yes, peel your bananas before you throw them in the freezer, and the best way to store bananas is actually in the fridge. I say that, but it's still a hard thing to kind of look at the brown banana. It's nice.
We
to
still
see
don't
them.
do it. I got bananas tonight, and they're not in the fridge, are they?
Not yet, but as they get more ripe, I'll probably throw them in there. Well, particularly during fruit fly season. It's a good time to know that, because when you have fruit flies around your house, bananas are the worst
Fruit
thing.
flies are in Jamaica in the winter.
Yeah, they fly down south.
They do.
I don't think they live long enough to fly down south. But
Actually, what is the life expectancy or the life duration of a fruit fly? 2 or 3 days, isn't it?
I don't know. I guess that's a question for
Future podcast.
yes, or Siri or Alexa or somebody
who knows
somebody
more
other
than
than
us.
me. Somebody who's not focused on trying to get through these tips in my allotted time.
Yeah. Well, how we doing? We're 11 minutes in.
The next one's a
Thank
quick
you for
one.
listening to the podcast for 11 minutes so far.
My next tip is
Beep.
have a key spot.
A key spot. Mine's right here, but my keys aren't there right now.
Jeff's tapping the desk in a vacant spot.
In a vacant spot.
I
Where
have-
are my keys?
My
I don't
key
even know where
spots
they're
are
at.
my spot is on the corner of our blanket box.
Yes.
So if you want to ever rob us, you know exactly where to come in and grab the keys
honey.
for the house.
Our stuff's gone now.
Delete.
Marie Kondo would be very proud of us.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
one way to get rid of your stuff, eh? Tell where your keys are, and
we're
where you
going-
live,
where we're going to be on vacation.
when we're going to be on vacation, and then all of a sudden you're a minimalist.
Yes. There
Yeah.
you go. But no, just having a spot that you can put your keys in when you walk into your house and just do it consistently. I don't know how many times or how much time is spent looking for keys when you're in a rush to get out of your house.
Whatever's
Just
comfortable too.
Have a spot, put it there, make it work. This next one's kind of a unique one to us, but I just want to talk about the great benefits of doorless cupboards.
Yes, that's right. That was one of the things that I was a little bit on the fence about when we bought our home, but we had no choice because there are no doors on our cupboards.
Yes.
So, but it worked because you know what? After we minimized our number of dishes, it worked.
Well, it forces us to keep the dishes tidy. Well, and it's actually quite easy. Dishes in and of themselves, when they're stacked properly, are kept tidy.
Well, when you're a family of 3, you don't need many dishes. You need enough for like maybe 2 more place settings if you have like, some guests, and that's it.
Right, the guests who may never come.
Yes, and that's why we only have we have 12 different, bed settings and stuff, whatever they're called, bed, whatever. Anyway, go ahead. What's the next one?
Oh, so I love when you go on a tangent and then you just come back and say, "What's the next one? What's
the next one? Let's go."
I won't
Chop,
spend
chop.
too much time on the cupboardless or doorless cupboards. I don't expect people to be basically tearing tearing the cupboard doors off of their cupboards. But I'm just
No.
saying that if you are renovating or if you're purchasing a home and don't panic if you see your shelves without cupboard doors on them. It's not the end of the world. They actually don't get dusty if you're minimalist and you don't have a ton of dishes. You're using them fast enough they don't get dusty. And
I can't
also
live
when you
without-
have guests over, they can see where things are. They're not opening up 3 or 4 cupboards trying to find a glass. They can just look where things are at and they can go and grab it. So
I can't imagine life with cupboards, to be honest.
I
I love how you just ignore me now.
do.
I do. It's what I do.
Foil trays. I just want to speak about the
What?
wonderful benefits of foil trays.
Oh, foil trays. I said
Well,
oil
tin
trays.
tin. I'm sure oil trays are also wonderful.
Yeah, I don't even
I'm
know what that
speaking-
would be, honey.
I'm speaking specifically about foil or
What's
tin
an oil
foil.
tray?
I know what an oil pan is.
Okay. Close enough.
Tinfoil trays, we use them in the bottom of our oven, which is great. So if you have a spill, they're just an easy way to, instead of
Keep
having
your
to
oven
clean your
clean.
whole oven, you can just replace the foil tray.
No question.
We also use them under the pet dishes. So we use
Yes.
it under our cat Charlie's dishes. We put the foil tray under. It just keeps things clean and dry. If you have hardwood floors and the pet has a water dish, it can slop over and
You
can
don't have to
actually
worry
damage your
about-
floor. So
That's right.
foil trays are just, they're nice. I mean, they're disposable, but you do actually keep them for quite some time. So it's not, creating a ton of waste.
We should have did that with the barbecue so that the deck didn't rot. We should have put a big foil tray under the barbecue. Can you imagine?
Hindsight.
There is a tip that we didn't follow that you still can.
So foil trays are just a great way. You can get you get them in the grocery store, and it's just a great way to keep any kind of messy areas. Even if you have you have a particular area of your cupboard where you're storing cooking oils and things like that, they can be a base that you can use to store the oils on top of, so you don't end up with a mess in your cupboards.
We should go on Dragon's Den about barbecue foil trays
There you go.
and make millions.
We can't now. It's out there.
Yeah, it's
Someone's
true.
already done it.
Someone already stole it. Oh,
I know. Foiled,
damn you, Jay and
foiled
Dawn.
again.
Foiled again. High five. That's a good one.
All right.
Oh, we
Next
just
up-
peaked
Next up is, you want to tell people what peaked
with the high
means?
five.
Peaked,
Oh, well, it's
peak-
just when we peak, the volume goes a little too high and we get into the red, and that high five just did it. But
There's
that's
a-
okay.
There's a red zone
I can
on
fix
the
it.
many audio
I
settings.
can fix it. Yeah.
Yeah. So next time, don't even mention it.
All right. So where are we now in our...
We're going to talk about baby wipes.
Oh, baby wipes. There's so many uses for baby wipes.
Baby wipes are awesome.
And we don't even use them for wiping a baby anymore.
No, I know. Baby wipes are not just for babies. They have so many. So keep baby wipes in your car, and I'm going to tell you there are a myriad of reasons of why.
Not in the winter, though.
No,
Take them out of your
not
car
in
in
the
the
winter. They freeze. We've
That's
discovered
right.
that.
Yes.
But all
The
other
hard
times
way.
of the year,
The frozen way.
the frozen way. So say you all of a sudden realize you need to, I don't know, give someone a lift in your car, and you realize that your car's a mess because you're just a filthy animal.
We are filthy animals, and I'm sure you are too, loyal listener.
No, but sometimes you're sitting in your car and say you have to give somebody a lift, and you look up and you're like, oh, my dash is a little dusty, or there was a bit of a coffee spill or something like that. A baby wipe is a great way to do a quick clean of your car. You can even do it at a stoplight.
It's so funny because my philosophy with that is like, if you're getting in my car, it is the way it is, and you're just going to have to deal with it.
That's why I love you.
I know. Same with the sheets.
For
Let's
everybody
not talk
else who
about the
cares
sheets
about
again. But
cleanliness of their vehicle,
yeah,
you can use a baby wipe
you
to clean
two
it up.
out of 250,000 people listening.
I actually keep just a Swiffer too. So if you do have a dusty dash, a Swiffer.
And that's why I
don't-
love you.
You don't need the full-on handle of the Swiffer. You just need like the Swiffer refill. You can just put it on your hand and wipe it across your dash, and it's the perfect thing to pick up dash off of your.
Dash, or you mean dust?
That's right.
That's right. I thought you meant dust. Continue.
I did mean dust.
Yeah.
Dust off the dash.
I'm there for you, honey. I'm the
Nobody
safety
wants
net.
a dusty dash.
No, I'm the
Dash that
safety net.
dust right off that dash.
That's right. What? Say that again.
Dash that dust right off that dash.
There you go. Dash that dust right off of that dash.
So grab your Swiffer, run
Grab
it
that
over your
Swiffer
dash,
and run it across your dash.
and you can do it right at the stoplight. Don't text.
do it at a
But
red
Swiffering
light.
is okay. And then the baby wipes are good for the more, thorough cleaning. So, like I said, coffee spills, whatever.
Really, the baby wipes are good for anything but wiping a baby.
That's true. Well, they also accomplish
Well, when you
that.
don't have a baby, that's what you do.
The other thing is, if you're picking someone up and you did a quick clean of your car, if you use something that was like an actual cleaner, not a baby wipe,
Like Mr. Clean.
it would smell very strongly, and it would completely reveal your secret that you just did a quick clean of your car.
That's right.
A baby wipe is very discreet, and
It's quick.
it works.
You just do it.
They
You
also
do it before the
work
Pope
great
gets in your car.
if you notice that your shoes are a little scuffed or dusty or whatever. You can use a baby wipe over your shoes.
Man, I don't care about that at all. I know you do, and a lot of other people do, but man, I am not washing my shoes for anyone.
Well, but if you're going to work and you notice that you might have scuffed your shoe or something like that, a baby wipe will work.
They
It'll
can
actually-
fire me
It'll
before I
actually
wash my
even
shoes.
take lint if you have a little bit of Charlie hair on your black pants or something. I
Yes.
can wipe a baby wipe over, and it'll take some of the lint off.
Don't you use like cellophane tape for that?
That would be another way to do it.
Yeah, I've seen you use that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
I pretty much use everything but the lint roller, apparently.
Yes. We don't own a lint roller, do we?
We do have one. But
Oh.
sometimes
So
sometimes it runs out.
these are things I don't care about. But
Other uses
understand
for
why
baby
people do.
wipes.
Yep.
If you're in your car and you see that there's some bird crap on your window,
bird crap. That happens often.
and you're not going to be at the gas station anytime soon to do a windshield wash.
It's an Aperol spritz break. Let's go.
Windshield washer.
Windshield washer.
No, that was just a really hard combination of words. I'm going to
No
go with
question. That happens.
So bird poop.
Toy boat.
This happened to me once. I used to live on a peninsula where I had to take a ferry to work. And one day when I was sitting on the ferry on my way to work, I got a whiff of dog poop. And I realized I'd stepped in dog poop before I got into my car. And then I realized I had a 20-minute ferry ride sitting in my car and that I was getting dog poop all over my floor mats. And it was also on my shoe.
And you're like, baby wipes, where are you?
Yeah.
And you use baby wipes?
I did, actually. I got out on the other side and I parked
Pulled
in
over.
some discreet
Yep.
parking lot and did a little cleanup of my shoe, at least to hold me over. And like, I don't know what I did with my mats. I might have had to burn them. Or
In all honesty, though, if you didn't have baby wipes in your car, what else would you have used? A tissue? That wouldn't have done it.
leaves, maybe?
You need the moisture. The what? Leaves? Oh, yeah. No, leaves aren't going to do it.
No, not dog poop.
Been there, done that. And it didn't work.
Yeah. Like I
Been
didn't
there,
have a heavy,
done that, and it didn't work.
I didn't have a heavy tread situation, so it wasn't too bad, but it was still bad.
The
That was a bad morning.
heavy tread situation.
Well, you know,
I love it. That's
when
the
you
next.
when you
That's
use
the
a
next.
stick to actually pick the dog poop out from between the shreds.
That's the name of our
shreds.
next mix jam, man. Our mixtape. I already forget what it was. What was it again? Anyway.
One last reason to keep baby wipes in your car is when you're doing oil checks or if you're getting gas. It's nice to be able to wipe your hands off, right? So you don't get the gassy smell off, and yeah.
What about cleaning your glasses? I'm gonna try and
you might want to check though to make if you
you don't want to melt your glasses.
Well, if you're using a really good natural baby wipe, it's probably not going to leave a residue, but some of them could leave a residue if they're like a moisturizing type. So depending on what you're using them for, just kind of watch what you probably want something that doesn't have a whole lot of added products into
What
it.
about cleaning an apple because it's already filled with chemicals?
That actually is my next tip: is cleaning apples.
Oh, not with baby wipes though.
No,
You wouldn't want to do that. What are you going to
that
say
would be
about
really
apples?
gross. Actually, it would.
I know it would count. It would just be like it would be
I'm
a
gonna
chemical.
wipe my baby's bum with this baby wipe, and then I'm going to use the next one to clean the apple I'm going to eat.
Exactly.
No, that's not happening.
Well, you wouldn't use it for a purpose before you clean the apple though. You would use a fresh baby wipe.
Well, no, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wouldn't clean the baby's bum and then clean your apple. That would be awful.
My next tip is around we keep a little bottle of vinegar. Yeah, just going to talk over you on that one.
Go ahead.
Vinegar and water mixture. We keep it in a spray bottle. It's great for
yes.
if you have something that's stuck on your counter or your stove, you can spray it with the mixture and let it sit for a little bit. It's a great way to clean it up. It's also a lot safer than using chemicals
Super
on
safer.
eating surfaces.
Don't use a baby wipe. That's all I have to
Don't use
say.
a baby wipe in the kitchen on your
No.
kitchen counter. But the other thing, there are things that are probably more thorough in terms of pesticides. But if your alternative is to rub your apple on your shirt, a more thorough alternative might be just to give it a quick spritz with the vinegar water mixture, and then give it a rub, and then wash it under the tap. The vinegar smell won't really stay with the apple. So
Another reason that we didn't cover about baby wipes is we have a 6-year-old and we're always going to different functions and stuff like that. And 9 times out of 10, he has a dirty face. Like it's he's got chocolate chips all over his face or something like that. Baby wipes,
you
bada
can
bing,
use the
bada boom.
baby wipes on the babies,
Bada bing, bada boom. Yes, you can.
even when the babies are 6 years old.
We never even covered that though, but it's true that is probably the most that we use baby wipes. That's the purpose for them in our car, right?
Well, that's kind of the purpose for why they exist.
We never covered it though. The obvious. People need to know the obvious.
Oh, all right then.
Okay, good. What's the next one?
Clothespins.
Clothespins. Oh my goodness, man! You need to close those chip bags up, and
Yeah.
the only way to do it is with clothespins.
We actually have we have 2 baskets on
Yeah.
our shelf. We have one with our
clothespins.
napkins and one with clothespins. And
That's
we,
right.
we actually never use clothespins for clothes.
No, we use
We
them
don't
for
have a
closing up
clothesline.
chips because I eat so many chips.
We
that
use them
it-
for closing up
I don't
chips
chip you.
or pasta bags or any kind of open package. We use no sense in going to the dollar store and going and buying special chip clips.
no
or-
sense.
All these special little devices for closing up things. Clothespins work perfectly. They're simple and you can use them on any kind of package.
And we do. Like you have your chips and I have my chips, and we use the same clothespins for our chips.
And I converted you on this because you never used to do this. You used to
No.
just kind of.
You know what I still don't do though, honey? Open my chips from the bottom. I still don't do that.
I noticed.
I can't do it. And I understand why you do though. But anyways, wow, what an incredible amount of incredible, fantastic tips.
So,
Let's go on to the next tip.
okay. Store extra bags in your trash can. Now, I've noticed that in offices, cleaning staff know to do this. It saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
So if you have, I'm not talking about your main garbage can that might kind of get, you might want to give it a wipe out in between garbages because you might have some more messy garbage. But if you have trash cans in an office or in an upstairs bathroom or something, that's a little further to get to from your main garbage bag stash, put a few extra kitchen catchers or little garbage bags in the bottom.
Yeah,
and
it makes sense.
yeah, so when you go to take out one, you got another one right underneath.
And we use we should talk briefly about the way we do our recycling with the 3 different receptacle.
Yeah, we actually have big baskets that
big baskets.
They're technically laundry hampers, but they just look like big baskets.
I just thought of a tip that I showed you. Do you remember that? Do you remember in respect to those?
No.
I have shown you a tip, honey.
Oh, to lay them on the side in
right.
order to get the bag out easily.
Yeah.
So when they get jammed really full, it's hard to lift the bag out straight out of the bin.
That's a tip I learned from my mother.
Yeah, but if you
You
lay
put it on
down,
its side.
lay it on the side, and you can wiggle the bag out much easier.
That's right. And anyway,
Good
so we have
job.
one. So we have one for plastic, one for paper, and one for all receptacles.
Yeah,
and
well,
bottles and
depending
stuff.
on what municipality you're in, everybody has different sorting rules. So you just set up a system that works with your sorting rules for your local recycling facility.
We put ours out, and it's our it's our giving. It's our gift to the community. Somebody
to the
comes by.
environment. Oh, yes. So we have any kind of recyclables that you can actually get money for. We were actually in a spot where we can put them out on the sidewalk and they'll get picked up because there are a lot of people who can take advantage of that.
Yeah.
We unfortunately have a very high poverty rate in our city. So
We do.
There are people who go around and collect bottles and that sort of thing to supplement their income. And the very last item I want to talk about is peanut butter.
Oh, peanut butter. You got to go to the video.
Yes. So that's how I was
Check
going
out
to
our
end,
video.
but you just...
Oh, sorry. I ruined the video or the ending with the video.
You didn't ruin anything. I was just giving you a hard time. I'm going to talk about natural
quit.
peanut butter. Natural peanut butter, I think, is something that a lot of people are going towards because you're just trying to go for more natural, options, not having a ton of preservatives and that sort of thing. But it's really hard to mix up. If you've ever tried to mix it up, it's just annoying. The oil spills out. So I've tried to find different ways to mix it up. One of the interesting tips that I came across was if you actually add about a 1/4 cup of honey to a jar of peanut butter, so you actually have to use a little bit of the peanut butter up first, but if you add a 1/4 cup of honey to it and mix it in as you're mixing it up, it'll actually help prevent separation.
Oh, good.
And I tested this. I mean, it does add a little extra sugar and calories, so if you're concerned about that.
Don't you want to promote separation, though? Not prevent it?
No, why would you want to promote separation?
Well, you want it to separate so that it's not so gummy, right? So it's not so thick.
No, you want it to be homogeneous and mix the oil into the rest of the peanut butter.
All right. I'm learning.
Okay. We never want to promote separation.
No.
So the honey is one trick, but the other trick is where the video comes into play.
And you got to go to our social media and check out this video because it's hilarious.
It's when you use one beater of a handheld mixer and you hold onto the jar is a key piece.
So that gives you a huge clue as to what this video entails.
And so check it out. It's worth watching. But
You can find it on Facebook or Instagram.
After the ordeal of that experience and that video
InfoQuench.
and what took place and the cleanup afterwards, well, we actually moved back from, we're not using natural peanut butter anymore.
No.
I'm tired of stirring it. It was a headache.
All right, thanks. Is this the end?
This is the end.
Oh my goodness,
on a
we
more
did it.
So on the next episode, we're actually we're going to talk about something a little bit more serious topic. So I'll get into that in the next episode, but it'll be a bit more serious than our previous ones. And
Yeah.
but hopefully it'll give some valuable information.
Definitely tune in. Thanks so much for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening.
And be sure to visit us at infoquench.com to subscribe and find out about future episodes.
You can also check out InfoQuench on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Till next time, friends.